What? I turned it the wrong way around. So he always has to go across the bar to serve a drink. Oh, this is stupid. As you can tell, I'm not the best tavern keeper. In fact, I've made more than just this one mistake, but we'll get into those mistakes later. First, I want to tell you what this game is actually about, and as you can tell by the name of the title of the video, it's about Tavern Keeper. You might have heard about a small indie game called Game Dev Tycoon, which came out a couple of years ago and actually garnered quite a bit of attention for being really good. Well, the development studio is back and they've made a banger of a game. I had the privilege to play it before its release. However, there is no contract between me and Greenheart Studios. There is nothing that stops me from giving bad critique or anything. I just want to talk and say my opinion, which I'm gonna do. And what an opinion I do have, because Tavern Keeper is exactly what we need in today's day and age when it comes to indie games being innovative and original. There's a lot of different management sim games out there, and none of them really stand out that much from each other, at least in my opinion. When you look at something like City Skylines, Planet Coaster, Jurassic Evolution, any of those types of games, they set themselves apart far enough to be interesting, but they're not that really special in my opinion. And that's where Tavern Keeper sets itself apart, because actually, while still being a management sim and having those characteristics, it's still separate from what other studios have made. A really cool mechanic that they added was the stories that you can find. Sometimes a patron will enter your tavern and want to talk to you and have a special story above their head. When you click on that story, you'll be able to interact with them. And by interacting with them, you can either have a good or a bad outcome. This can be influenced by the characteristics that you pick at the beginning of the game, but this can also just be influenced by what you say exactly. It's an element that I never really see in games like this, where there's a bit of randomness attached to it. I mean, one guy entered my bar, acted as if he was some random dude that thought my brews I had weren't good, and then it turned out to be just a local brewer not far from here. And when I found out he was the local brewer, he said, I'm sorry, my bad, I'm just trying to do a marketing stunt. Here's some free barrels for you. Another interesting mechanic are, of course, the characters, the people you hire. They can have happiness to them, kind of like the Sims, but when they tend to be unhappy, they do certain things. One guy can just start stealing money from the cash register. Another guy can just start randomly eating everything you've got, so your stock gets depleted. And there's a whole system to how you want these people to work. Some people are better at cleaning, while others are better at bartending. Truth be told, like I said, I'm not that interested in management sims, but this game has quite fondly put its hook into me. I mean, for the purpose of this video, I only played it for about an hour, but since then I've actually put in quite a lot more time into the game just because I thought, wow, this is actually interesting and fun. I get to play this game and I actually get to enjoy most of what I'm doing here. I do have to say it's an early access title, and because of its early access title, it of course has a few little problems. Now, I haven't really ran into bugs or crashes at all. If anything, the game is really well optimized. But what I have ran into is the lack of explanation sometimes. As you could tell by the clip in my intro, I didn't know my bar was turned around up until the first patron came, and I didn't have the ability to turn it around until a bit later when that patron left. It's not a bad thing. It's not going to ruin my gameplay. In fact, it enhanced my gameplay because I laughed so much, but it would be nice for the people who are really serious about playing a game like this to kind of have the explanation like, okay, yeah, sure, this is what I need to do. That's also kind of my bad. I mean, I'm not the smartest guy around. I had a lot of different problems, as I mentioned before. I mean, just look at this. Okay, so this is the satisfaction. Of course, the satisfaction is at 69. Sorry. Storage overview, let's go. We have the storage overview, but this shit is still outside and we do not have money. We need money. Other than that, I do have to give it a lot of different praises. The art style is cool, the music is done well, the narrator is luckily not annoying, and when it comes to those stories I mentioned, that is a very important aspect. Having a narrator like V from Skate is not good. Overall, do I think this game is worth your time and worth your money? Yes, definitely. I think this game is done wonderfully. You can tell that there's a lot of love put into this game, and I wanted to make a video about it for so long, which is why I'm so glad that I was able to do it. And you might be wondering, well, you've been able to play it before its release. When does it release? Well, as a matter of fact, it already has released. The day I released this video on Monday, the game releases. So you can just go and check out the game for yourself on Steam and give it a play. You can even just check it out, and maybe if in less than 2 hours you still don't like it, you might be able to refund it, right? But in general, I think everything in this game is done wonderfully. The only thing they can really do is just add more content, because that of course is still something that has to come. But for an early access title, I think this is definitely very well polished and very well done. I gotta give credit where credit is due, and Greenheart has definitely earned it. All I can really say right now is go check it out and play it for yourself. You're gonna love it. And if you're interested in more content just like this, you gotta check out my channel. You gotta subscribe. That's what you gotta do. Come on. I talk about indie games just like this one, and they're all really, really good. So if you want to find out some really, really good indie games, I've got more on my channel, as well as other commentary. So why not subscribe and like the video if you've enjoyed it so far. Tell me what you think of Tavern Keeper in the comments, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Have a good one.